is cute, bro.
All right, we're going to talk about this because the last video was way too long, and my stream I'm watching, it was an hour video. I don't really want to watch it. We're here. So George and Logan Paul, Logan Gangster, right? They been friends for long time, a very long time, since 2016, since Vine days, right? They both grew up. I think all live in the same apartment complex, right? And we all know Logan Paul has a podcast named Impulsive, right? George was in it. Then shit happened. Fucking Logan started talking about George's religion. George didn't feel respected enough, and he left. He didn't say a word, right? They didn't talk or nothing for a year. Until George had an interview with Mike, who's another co-host in that podcast and good friends with all of them. And they were talking about Logan. And then, of course, Logan made a video saying, oh, George Janko was fake. Also putting George Janko's words out of context, like clipping on the right moment. So here is a response for George Janko. And George Janko finally responds to Logan Paul. And that's pretty much the summary of the whole fucking beef.
Bro, it's cute. I get it. You're doing your best to show face. Do whatever you need, bro. Like, talk to your team. Do whatever you need. But when you want to be a man, come talk to me like a man.
Yes, I've been reading your Instagram DMs, your Twitter DMs. And if you're new and you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. We're getting so close to 500,000. This is literally the definition of edging. But with that said, let's just get into today's video. And I'm not going to overhype this. I like to be honest with my audience. I don't want to come on here and be, yo, George finally destroyed Mr. Paul, Mr. Maverick, Mr. King 10. I mean, that's Jake Paul, but point stands. Yeah. Honestly, the response with everything George has said and then what Logan Paul has said, I was expecting to get a response with receipts. So a few hours ago, George uploaded his newest episode to the podcast. But before we take a look at this one, which is the freshest one, I want to take you back to a few days ago. George talking about Logan Paul after Logan Paul made that infamous receipts video that was extremely manipulative and it tricked a lot of people. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but even me, it got me on some parts, which I later on apologized for because it was an L take.
As well as having his own credit card, all expenses related to the show were paid for, including all travel and lodging. Obviously, George's total reimbursement came out to $20,000, 317 cents. I'd love to see any books that show otherwise. Spending $120,000 a year to be on a show is a little confusing.
Dang, first of all, happy Mother's Day before I get into this drama, because I gotta go take my mom out. I'm having a splendid day today.
He both said it's splendid
TikTok
day.
is cute, bro. It's cute. I get it.
It's cute.
You're doing your best to show face. Do whatever you need, bro. Like, talk to your team. Do whatever you need. But when you want to be a man, come talk to me like a man. Let's sit down like men and talk about it. Mike did it. Mike's a real man. He had the chance to come, sit, talk, show all of his points of views, brother. You could bring camera. You could bring your attorney, bro. Come sit on the couch and talk to me like a man. Let's talk, bro. Because obviously you want to talk. Let's talk. Come talk to me, bro.
Now, when we get into the newer response, it's a whole different George. It's a whole different energy. Now, in this one, he clearly seems a bit more aggressive. And once again, I don't blame him. I don't think anyone's like, well, yo, why is George so aggressive? When you come out and speak about something so important, George has his platform. He's telling his story. And Logan Paul, within a day, claps back and lies and manipulates things and just takes things out of context to make
the word I just said, yeah.
I wasn't the only YouTuber that fell for this, by the way. Oompaville did. Too Lazy to Try did. And, of course, me that took the L because Logan Paul's side looked convincing. If you look a little bit into it, then you'll be like,
but Kovacs didn't fall for it, which is crazy.
So I get why George might be a bit more aggressive here. And taking a look at the replies, this person says, I'm no Logan fan, but you were the one that called him out on your podcast without any receipts. So it made sense for him to respond with receipts. And you're saying he's not a man for wanting to talk to you in person. That math ain't adding up. This got quite a few likes. And then this person says, why didn't George do that in the first place instead of airing out all of his drama on the internet? The reason why the podcast episode and all of this drama came to be is because people were genuinely intrigued on why Logan Paul and George
stopped being friends.
George walked away from the show, and it was George's time and opportunity to put his side of the story out because of the way the podcast was edited. A year and a half ago. This person says George is a joke. Wow,
that's crazy.
The comment section is not rocking with George at all.
Yeah, they were all behind George. They were all against Logan. I mean, they were all with Logan.
Oh, this guy was making so much money in 15 months, and he's bitching about it, but people don't know that George wasn't paid for a year. Logan Paul was out here making millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Like,
and
Cavis, like a lot. If you don't know who he is, Kovacs Cavis, I think his name is. Bro put up a good YouTube video and pretty much defending George very well, and looking behind Logan Paul manipulation or whatever you want to call it, and he pretty much proved that Logan Paul mostly were saying bullshit. I mean, some George was saying was kind of BS, but mostly Logan was saying BS.
his co-host is also making millions of dollars. But then this other guy, George, isn't making millions. That takes us to the new episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the George Janko Show. Boy, oh boy, did we have an eventful week this week. Just a little.
Huge.
Just a little bit. And I know a lot of you guys have been messaging me, and you guys have been like, respond.
Respond to what?
Respond to Logan's video. And although I don't agree with Logan's video, and a lot of my story was taken out of that video, and it felt like it was, it was played with.
Yeah, it was. It was really played with.
Saying
Like
what I was gonna say, regardless. And so, just to let you guys know, I'm not trying to do the whole back and forth thing. I'm truly trying to be a peacemaker. I'm not trying to go to war. I know a lot of people are excited about the beef that's been going on online with Kendrick and Drake and all this stuff, and people get excited about that. But it's not something I want to be a part of.
This seems like George had post-nut clarity, because the video that he dropped a few days ago on Mother's Day, which was May 12th, that was like 4 days ago, he was like, nah, it's not really worth going at it. Maybe he had a talk with his family and they calmed him down. Maybe that's what happened. But as you guys could see, the energy is completely different. Now, I wouldn't be lying.
Bro,
and
chill.
I would be honest with you guys if I said, but the thing is, at least for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but I would have liked to see George argue about what Logan Paul said on that TikTok video to disprove them, right? I don't think George is a liar. I don't think he's a bad person, by the way. But I think it would have been better.
What game is this?
Quickly, or, going from,
this game was tough, bro.
Talk to me like a man, to being like, no, I'm all about peace, which is valid. I don't want you guys to think like, oh yeah, I want to see fucking blood between these two guys. I want to see them rip each other apart. I don't want to see that. But some people are
there's drama. People just want
George
drama,
because,
you know?
once again, the Logan Paul video, and they're like, oh, he's this entitled baby. Womp, womp, womp. Made 315,000 USD in 15 months. He wants this whole situation to be over. And then we're going to focus and lock in and be like, well, if George is at peace, and he talked about the whole Bobby Lee incident, if he's at peace and he feels calm, that's all that matters.
People get excited about that, but it's not something I want to be a part of. I want to be the man that sits with my friend and discuss things and moves on and builds together.
Like you and Mike did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Me and Mike did exactly what I wanted to do, and I think Mike understood that too. I would love to have Logan come and sit down. It could be on the podcast. It could be off the podcast. I feel like, there's a lot of things that he wants to get off his chest, and there's a lot of things that I would like to get off my chest. But
that's W response, honestly.
Where I'm running to.
That's a W response. That should have been his response. I know he was mad. He responded too quickly. That's why I forgot. It was Shaq or someone said. Who said it? Was it Drake? I think. Wow, I can't believe it wasn't Drake advice. It was Drake mother advice. Drake mother advice. So pretty much. Hey, actually, Drake said some IQ shit. Okay, and it wasn't him. It was his mother. So Drake mother said. So Drake had something happen to him, and. Was it Drake? It was either Shaq or Drake. I think it was Shaq mother. It was someone's mother. It was someone famous mother. He said something happened to him, and the mother was like, wait 3 days. Wait 3 days. Don't respond right away, because now you're all emotional and shit. You go have a reaction. Wait 3 days. If in 3 days you still feel the same, then do what you're going to do. Say the fucked up shit or whatever shit you're going to do. Wait 3 days. And the person, if it was Drake or Shaq, they waited 3 days, and after 3 days, they didn't feel the same anger, same resentment, the same energy they felt 3 days ago. They were like, it was kind of bullshit. Why was I mad about this? So that's really the best advice, bro. If you're big, or even if you're big or not, bro, if that advice is perfect for anybody. Something happens, some fuck shit happens. Wait 3 days. If you feel the same way in 3 days, then react how you gonna react. But if you don't, that shows you like, oh man, I shouldn't react like that. I'm gonna take it down. There's no reason for me to go all out like that. And that's what George said. George should have been like this from the start. Like, yo, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I can say my piece. You can say your piece. If you want to actually solve this, let's do it in my podcast. If you don't want to do it on my podcast, it's fine. We can also do it away from cameras, just one-on-one. That's what he should have done in the first place. But of course, he didn't listen to Shaq or Drake mom advice. Always wait 3 days. Always wait 3 days because your emotion is too high.
I don't get me wrong, is my initial, yeah, of course, because I get emotional. I see somebody I love and they do something I don't like, and I want to do that, but doesn't make it right.
Wait 3 days.
I gotta hold myself accountable, and I want to thank a lot of you guys. You know, like, it's cool having an audience like this because they hold me accountable, right? And they don't brush it off. And then
wait 3 days.
I just thought it was really cool.
Wait 3 days.
Thank you for everybody who's been rocking with me on the show and in the journey that I've been taking. And God willing, we just keep making peace and making more friends, and we could just keep going in the direction that we want to go, and I think that would be cool.
All right, something that I want to say that I've been thinking about, that I want to get off my chest, and if anyone knows, I would really appreciate it.
Because don't forget, this is not like a beef. Like, don't forget, this is not a beef of two creators, content creators. It's a beef with two friends, two best friends, two friends that really tell each other they're brothers. It's two fights against brothers, and when that happened, two things need to happen. Number one, they need to spend time apart, and number two, they need to come together, because they will eventually, but they just need to come together and talk it out. So of course they're not gonna go back and forth, all that shit. Like, they're friends. This is a different type of, like, unless you're Jake Paul, Logan Paul, like with that diss track. If you're too super close, you're not going to keep going on war. You just go handle it offline. Or maybe handle it on a podcast, which, let's be honest, if they do a podcast, if Logan Paul and George does a podcast, that shit would get hella fucking views. I feel like that's what they should do.
Can anyone tell me where I could get this?
No.
If anyone could tell me where I could buy it, please let me know. I fuck with
That
this
is tough.
extremely hard. I'm extremely jealous that I don't have it. I think this is the most important part of the video. Forget about subscribing, notifications on. I want to know where I could buy this. I need this in my room, in my living room. Anyone could hook me up with that, hit me up on IG or Twitter. Now, I think this is an extremely respectable route for George to go on. Well, I wouldn't go about it that way, but we're different people. If I was in his shoes, I would want to destroy and eat Logan Paul alive. Because essentially, Logan Paul called me a liar in front of like 10 million people.
Yeah, you would, but because you're not in his shoes, they're best friends, bro. They're literally they're brothers. Why would your brothers want to destroy each other? Again, that's what I'm saying, bro. George and Logan is not your typical beef. Like, maybe he doesn't know. I thought he would know. This kind of video was kind of, I'm not with this, but maybe he doesn't know. And if you guys don't know, George and Logan are not your typical beef. They're brothers. They were friends. They literally there's hella videos of them calling each other brothers. This is not going to be your typical beef when they're trying to show each other. No brothers wanted to show each other. Of course not. And of course not George too. So obviously this is your different type of beef. This is your, he took a J. Cole route. Because again, J. Cole, number one, knows he was going to get fucked up by Kendrick. And he didn't want to go war with his brother. The brother fights, but they don't go to war. Remember that, brother. They fight, they argue, but they never go to war to destroy each other. Because then you guys were never brothers to begin with. And also, if you do choose that war button, nothing can turn it back. There's no turning back. That friendship is ruined. You can't, you can't, you know what I'm talking about. You can't really turn back time and go become brothers again. That relationship is ruined if they go to war. So I get why he did that.
I
thought this man will have more like
right. I would go to war. I would go full Kendrick Drake. And I mean, if Logan Paul has nothing to hide, he would go on the podcast. And I know what some people are thinking. George is only doing it for the clout. He's only doing it for the attention. George really doesn't need it. He has like 3 million subscribers. His podcast episodes all get over 100,000 views. But let's not deny it. If Logan Paul ever shows up on his podcast, everyone's going to watch. It's going to be a 1 out of 10, and it's going to make George thousands of dollars. All right, let's not kid ourselves. This is a business, but it's not like George desperately needs the clout. It's not like he's irrelevant or he fell off. That's not the case. This friend says George pulled a J. Cole in his own beef. This person says, let's go. Glad you're responding this way. Not gonna lie, it was an awkward situation when Logan Paul made the reply with receipts and it had me all confused. See, this is why I think George should have responded to the video, and I know George wants his drama to die, because then you get people who are confused that are not going to know the full story or get the whole situation. So yeah, it leaves some people confused when they see the Logan Paul video and then George says, no, I'm done with the drama. It makes the average viewer not understand what's going on and they just stay with that. Oh, George is a whiny baby when he's not. You know what I mean? But it would have been extremely smart to dedicate 10-15 minutes of his podcast to clear some stuff up for his fans. That's what I would have done. I would have been like, he lied here.
You got a double jump. There we go.
It's kind of true. And he lied here, and we're done. Once again, that's just what I
So
would
that's
do.
it?
With that said, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.
That's it, bro. Bro, that's it, bro. Did I yapping? Bro, okay. A lot of people are on George's side. Okay. I mean, like I said, they're brothers. Brothers are going to fight, but never go to war. Because once they go to war, there's never coming back from the war. That's bars.